Yo, they really doing this again. All right, y'all better get your mask ready. I know how much y'all love your mask. I know how much you love that sweaty, stanky, bacteria filled mask that you got to wear on your face all day long. I know how much you missed it. Well, Biden is going to give you exactly what you were asking for. He going to run it back. He going to run it. He say, hey, we need to do this again. We going to run it back. Look, I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard about, COVID ID in a minute. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing people wearing masks at the grocery store. I start seeing people wearing masks, at the barber shop. I'm like, y'all got a mask on at the barber shop? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And then I see this story that came out just, yesterday. It said that they're going to have a new, thang booster as early as tomorrow. And I said, wait. I thought it was effective. I thought the previous one that y'all were rushing and telling us to take was effective. And then come to find out, Jill Biden. And Jill Biden, I don't really know too much about Jill Biden, to be honest. I just know she be kissing a lot of people who are not her husband, which is kind of weird. Why are you kissing all these other men that aren't your husband? I don't get it. Anywho, apparently she came down with the COVID ID, right? And then, the press secretary made a statement talking about, hey, Biden gonna be wearing his mask. So don't be surprised. You see him in his mask. He gonna be wearing it outside, inside, in the pool, on the beach. He gonna be wearing his mask. All right. Let me just play this video just so y'all understand what I'm talking about.
As far as the steps he is taking, since the president was with the First Lady yesterday, he will be masking while indoors and around people in alignment with CDC guidance. And as has been the practice in the past, the president will remove his mask when sufficiently distanced from others indoors and while outside as well.
I thought something extremely interesting that she just said. She said, as has been the practice in the past. I thought that was very telling. I thought that was very foreshadowing. I don't know if that's a word. I thought it was very foreshadowing of what potentially could come. Because from the standpoint of the current administration, another one of these lockdowns and restrictions would be tremendously needed in order to try to create a distraction and in order to create some fear that could potentially try to make people forget about how high these gas prices are, how high this food is getting, how high these interest rates are, to forget about this pointless war that we're involved in. I mean, a potential lockdown and restrictions could go a long way in making people start to forget about that just in time for a very, very critical election. I think it's interesting timing, especially when you look at The View. So just one day after, Jill got COVID ID, I guess Whoopi got it too. So now they said Jill got it, and then one day after they said Whoopi got it. They already have some schools, elementary schools, middle schools, that they're telling the parents like, hey, we've had some cases, be prepared to go back to the old, precautions that we were exercising in 2020 and 2021. Let me play this clip from The View for y'all. So she's, just to give you some context, she's talking about Whoopi's absence because, Whoopi got COVID ID.
Yes, it's back. It's back.
It's back.
But she's on the mend. She's on the tail end, and she'll probably be back this week. But sorry she's not here. For those of you who are looking forward to seeing her.
So she said, it's back. It's back. It's back. Yo, I don't know. Here's the thing. why do I don't really care about your personal like health. Not I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying like that's your personal private information. Like from the first lady's perspective, the first lady, okay, she got COVID, right? But Biden is testing negative, right? Okay, why does it need to be such big news? Like, okay, she got it. That's fine. She ain't really doing nothing anyway. She ain't really working or doing nothing anyway. Not that Biden's doing anything really. Like, I don't see it. But she ain't really involved in nothing anyway. So why does that even matter? If he caught it, okay, then I could understand like, hey, our president caught it, XYZ. He not gonna be doing, speaking. He not gonna be, his events are canceled because of this. But he doesn't have it. So why is it news? Y'all are trying to drum up fear. You're trying to create this environment where people are going to want to put on a mask. You're trying to create this environment where people are going to think that it's a better idea that they just stay home. You're trying to create this environment where people are going to say, hey, there's a new, thang booster coming out. Maybe I should get it. See, I was watching this video on TikTok, and I'm going to show you this video of Whoopi from her house, which is actually like comedy. I was watching this video on TikTok, and this guy, I forget his name, but he was talking about, the art of manipulation and the art of control, and the way that the government controls people is by making them want the thing that the government wants them to have or do. And in this case, a lot of people are going to want to put on a mask because they think that it's going to be something that's going to be effective in reducing the transmission of, COVID. A lot of people are going to want to, go ahead and get the thang for a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, because they think that it's the morally responsible thing to do for themselves, for their family, and for people all around them. The government is very good at making people want to do things that they want them to do. And that's an art form. It's a strategy. And I really think it's preparation for bigger things to come. Because the more that people are okay with staying in their house and taking experimental, drugs and wearing masks and doing all of these things that have been shown to be ineffective time and time again, the more that people are okay doing these things, the more that you can slowly start to, up the ante and increase the impact of the thing that you want people to do. And specifically what I'm talking about is, if y'all believe in the Bible, and I'm sure majority of y'all watching believe in the Bible speaks about the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is something that is going to occur, but it's not just going to happen overnight. There has to be a process. There has to be an ushering in so that people feel a need and a want, a desire to take the mark of the beast. And I think that we're seeing on a global standpoint that people are being prepped for that to eventually come, whether they know it or not. Whoopi Goldberg. I want y'all to understand something. She's in her house. She's supposed to be like quarantining in her, like, she got a mask on at home. It's like, clearly you just put that on for the camera, but it's kind of funny. Like, and I don't know. She might be the type of person who wears the mask by herself while she's driving in her car. So she might just always just have the mask on. It might just be fashion at this point, but I don't understand. I don't get it. Why do you need to put the mask on if you're by yourself? Wouldn't it be better for you to just breathe fresh air that's not being obstructed by all this fabric that's getting into your, lungs. I don't know. Let me play this video.
Still testing positive. Apparently, I have to have a clear test before I can come back. So, I can't wait to get back and hang out. But until then, it's me and my mask, and I'm sort of confined to my room.
I don't know why they're trying to make it seem like it's like fun. Like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Just stay at home. You don't got to go to work. You don't need money. You don't need money. Stay at home. Don't worry about it. Biden gonna give you a stimmy. He gonna give you a stimmy check. Don't worry about it. We're good. I don't understand why they try to make it seem like it's so fun. Just and look, she put her mask fully on her face. I gotta make this bigger, please. She put her mask fully on her face at her house. This is the world. Look, I'm gonna be prepared this time. This is what I should have did, because I knew they were gonna do this. I knew they were gonna bring this back around. I should have started a mask company. I should have, I should have done that. Look, I'm just joking, y'all. I think there's bigger implications here. Like I said, I think this is all to prepare us for something bigger. Obviously, I think that this is a tool, a tactic that's being used by this administration in order to impact the upcoming election, because they know that this election is not going to go their way. So they're trying to pull every string that they can possibly pull. And it is what it is. But also, I think from a spiritual aspect, I think this has massive implications just from understanding the season and the times that we live in. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Let me read this to you real quick. The title says, "The Day of the Lord. Now concerning the times and the seasons, brothers, you have no need to have anything written to you." So, the Thessalonians are concerned, and I guess they kind of have some anxiety as to, when Jesus is going to return. And they're concerned from the standpoint of, are we ready? Are we prepared? Are we saved? And Paul is trying to encourage them in this moment to try to help ease those concerns. So it says, "For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them, as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you," this is a key part, "but you are not in darkness, brothers, for that day to surprise you like a thief." So it's not going to be a surprise. So we should be able to know the times and understand that from a spiritual aspect, we are children of God. And we should be able to recognize the times, and we should be able to recognize the season of what is going on earth to identify the return of Jesus. And I'm not saying that we're going to know the exact date, because we're not going to know the exact date, but it's not going to be a surprise from the standpoint of like an unbeliever. Unbelievers, when Jesus returns to unbelievers, it's going to be a terrifying, frightening day. It's going to be terrifying. But we're not unbelievers. We are children of the light. That's what verse 5 says. It says, "For you are all children of light, children of the day." Jesus is called the light of the earth, right? That's what the Bible refers to Jesus as in multiple occasions, as being the light of this earth. And we are children of the light. We are children of the day. We are not of the night or of darkness. So then let us not be asleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. So this is very important. Verse 6. Don't be asleep to the times. And when Paul says asleep at this point, spiritually, don't be spiritually asleep. Don't be spiritually dormant or stagnant or unaware. Don't be spiritually disengaged. I think that's the better word for it. Don't be spiritually disengaged. It's one thing, and I understand people who don't want to watch the news, because for the most part, the news is filled with a lot of negativity. And if you don't know how to filter that, and if you don't know how to handle that, then that could weigh on your, overall state of being. It could cause you to fall into depression and to anxiety, and into a state of, non-productiveness. But we should still at least pay attention to what is going on and be looking at these current events from the standpoint of understanding what is happening and understanding that we are experiencing biblical type of events that the Bible speaks about, that we should be aware of, that we should not be asleep to, that we should not just disregard. I'm not telling you to obsess over these things, but I'm telling you to, make sure that you are staying close to Jesus so that you can receive insight and receive wisdom and receive discernment during these times. Make sure that you stay close to the light so that you can charge up and so that you could be light to others around you who may not understand what's going on. Verse 8, it says, "But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, having put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For God has destined for us not wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ, who died for us, so that whether we are awake or asleep, we might live with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build up one another, just as you are doing." So what does Paul say? He said, look, don't be spiritually disengaged. Now more than ever, you have to be engaged spiritually. You have to have a desire to grow and to edify others as well, because that's what Jesus would do. But he also says, put on faith, put on love, put on hope. Those three attributes should be what you are striving towards during this time. Because while others are going to be afraid, while others are going to be lacking love, while others are going to be lacking hope, you're going to be the complete opposite. Everybody's going to be running to the grocery store. You know what always happens. People run to the grocery store. They clean out the entire grocery store. Can't get no toilet paper. Can't get no paper towels. Can't get no bottled water. You can't get nothing, right? I'm not saying for you to not be prepared, but don't be stressed about these things, because God can provide for you, and he's going to provide for you, and he has already provided for you. I was thinking about this last night. I was awake at I was awake from 12 o'clock in the morning until 3:30 in the morning. And I'm not going to act like I'm this super holy person, and I was praying and fasting the whole time. A lot of the time I was just on my phone, but there was a small portion of that, maybe 20 minutes of that time, where I was praying and I was talking to God. And something I was realizing is wow, God lives outside of time, and he has already seen our entire lives. He's already seen it. So you might have times, and you can remember times where you might have felt stressed out. It might even be right now, or you might feel anxious about everything that's going on. You might have those times, but then you have other times where God has come through, and you can just notice it, so undeniable in your life, and you're just renewed again, and you're just made aware of how much he loves you in his presence. But it's like God has already seen all of these moments. He knows exactly what you need. And he's pulling you through in his hand through everything. And he's going to continue to pull you through everything. And even with everything that's going on, we have an eternal hope. Our hope far exceeds what we see here on earth. And we're literally being pulled all the way to eternity with God. But we have to remain hopeful. We have to remain in love, and we have to remain faithful in him, in Jesus Christ. We can't allow these times to sway us. We can't allow these times to push us to fall away or to deconstruct. But we have to be the ones that stand strong so that we can build up others. So put on faith, put on hope, put on love. But man, don't be asleep, because they finna run this back. It looks like they finna run this back. I don't know if this even made sense. I was doing a lot of talking. I wasn't planning on doing that much talking. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please be, nice in the comments. I don't even know why I have to say that, but just be nice in the comments to each other, to one another. Let me know what you think. Like this video. I'm out, y'all.